Hello and welcome to another episode of AFFOLs Only. I'm your host Austin, here with
Jeremy.
And I just want to say thank you to all those that commented and reached out to give us feedback on our show. We're going to try a new format today. To start off, we're going to start with a little bit of news.
Oh boy, the news.
The news. You know, you always like the news. Our news is a little more positive than what you see on TV.
Is it though? Nah, I'm just kidding, guys.
I mean, it's full of plastic people, so it's basically the same. So, in starters today, LEGO announced the Nightmare Before Christmas set, which is absolutely huge, and it looks great, honestly. It captures the movie. It has a custom mold for the Ghost Dog Zero. Jack Skellington has long legs like he should have in the minifigure selection. And of course it comes with my favorite character is the mayor, the two-faced mayor. I mean, it's just a great set. It's going to retail for like $200. That's the one thing about it. But I'm definitely getting one. Grew up with this movie. What do you think about it?
I mean, it's very interesting that the fact that LEGO would go down this route and go ahead and put so much dedication and looks like it put a lot of work into this set, a lot of custom molds, a lot of custom pieces, a lot of good designs for the minifigs. It makes you question, why can't they do this for every other set? No, but it's very nice. I do appreciate the long legs on Jack Skellington, and you're right, the custom mold for the dog is amazing. Like this is awesome. It looks really good. I can't wait to see how it really looks in person, how big it's gonna be. But I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I know a lot of people who are gonna buy this. And if they're not LEGO fans, they're going to end up buying this anyways because this is awesome.
This is every 8th grader like from our day's dream. This is this set will be in Hot Topic. This will be a LEGO set. I'm not known for sure, but I would just assume because they sell everything Nightmare Before Christmas. That is, I mean, you get a pretty decent amount of figures. You get Sally and Jack with new prints and all that, so they're completely different and unrecognizable compared to the LEGO minifigure collectors they had a while back. You get Zero, which is a completely custom new mold, which is kind of rare for LEGO to do for a one-off set. Mm-hmm. You have Santa Claus in his weird attire. You have, I think it's Lock, Jock, Merrill is the trick-or-treaters. And you get the two-faced mayor, which is my favorite character. But you don't get Oogie Boogie, which I feel is like... I would have liked to see a big fig Oogie Boogie. That would have been fun.
I think that was a wasted opportunity.
They
stole them from us.
They already made one mold, so they couldn't make another mold.
Yeah, they put too much on the dog.
But it looks great. It's got the City Hall building. It's got Jack Skellington's house, and it's got the curled... mountain by the moon, which is going to be a really, really interesting set to see. Another set, a couple sets, Wicked was revealed, mm-hmm. And I guess Wicked is supposed to be Wizard of Oz. I'm not sure what that actually is.
Listen, we both did not take show choir or do any other thing in high school.
I took show choir.
Yeah.
We did Grease, though. We didn't do Wizard of Oz.
Whatever. At this point, you didn't have the good show choir because I know in my school, all the girls would be obsessed with Wicked, and they would not be quiet about Wicked, and they were obsessed with all the music. So I think it's really cool that they're going... I mean, because the movie's coming out, obviously, so they're doing sets based off of it, but then... My only thing is like, man, you wanted to make it in the dolls format.
That's the thing, is like, it's like, this is a big... I understand, like, some people... like the dolls. I don't. I think minifigures are a better way. I kind of think it's a bit sexist that they make dolls because it's supposed to be for girls. Mm-hmm. And, like, why can't they just be regular minifigures? These sets would look a lot cooler if they were regular minifigures, but the dolls themselves just draw me away from it. It's not something I'm going to be picking up. The boxes do look kind of cool.
I mean, like, I don't know if it's me, but when it comes to the doll sets, it's always like they seem very... the facade-ish, like, you know, when they go ahead and do a lot of facade sets. Yeah. But they seem more facade than normal because the figures are taller and stuff like that. It feels like they're spending so much money on the figures that when it comes to the sets, they have to facade it really hard.
They don't fit anywhere.
Yeah.
They have to make these sets a little bit bigger because the dolls are slightly bigger than a Lego minifigure. They got like the buildable figure ones, which I think is kind of decent, but but then you look at like, I guess this is supposed to be Oz or something, the Emerald City. Okay, so it is like Wizard of Oz, and you know you have things that would be actually decent figures like Wicked Witch of the West and all that. I think that would be decent minifigures, but I'm not a fan of the dolls.
I'm not even gonna lie, like on a sidebar of dolls, it's like with the Lego dolls, I thought they stopped doing them, like, because I remember my sister buying like an elf set like years and years ago when I was buying Clone Wars sets, or that Lieutenant set with the battle droids, and I was like, cool, what are these things? And I thought they were gone. I'm not gonna lie to you, like I barely see them, and then when I do see them, I always forget that that's still a line, like that Lego's still pushing that, but
they don't do it, like, they don't, like, it's kind of rare for them to actually do it. Like, they do it for a lot of the Disney, like, Frozen and stuff but it honestly, to me, dolls looks like a lower form of Playmobil. Alright, you know those, like, they don't ever come apart, they only move their legs to bend, they all look the same, they're all, like, these little tiny action figure doll looking things.
And I know what else is coming out. I don't know if it's leaked or confirmed yet, but I know a Gremlin set's coming out.
So these are Lego ideas, and they surpassed the 10,000 supporters.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
And they got approval. So we're gonna have two 80s icons coming out. We have a buildable Gremlin, which is gonna be adorable, and I kind of hope they have like an evil Gremlin to put with it, because that will definitely be funny.
Or you can just put water on it.
You feed them after midnight. Yeah. That's the whole idea. You feed. But the one the Gremlin that they have, the non-fan picture, looks pretty cute. It reminds me of Stitch in a way.
Yeah, it does.
It's like just Stitch, but brown and white. I'm sorry. But the one set I'm looking forward to is the Goonies one, because the pictures for this are really cool. So on one side, it's the pirate ship. It's One Eye Willie's pirate ship. On the other side, it's the catacombs they used to get there. Mm-hmm. So I doubt Lego's going to do something like that. If they did just One Eye Willie's ship, that would be awesome. But I'm hoping for the minifigure selection. I have the Lego Dimension Sloth, so I kind of hope they do something different. But having all these characters is going to be great. It's great. It's a set that, you know, it goes to, like, Lego Dimensions had a bunch of stuff that came out, like, everybody was looking at. Like, they had I think Scooby-Doo originally came because of Lego Dimensions. A lot of sets like that happened, and Goonies was one of them. And it's going to be really great to have an actual set linked with it. If you're a Pirates fan, if you're an 80s movies fan, I'm a Goonies fan. I love it, so I'm definitely going to be picking this one up. Hopefully the image, like the set that they come up with, is going to be just as good as what the designer here was going for on that one.
And just be aware that, you know, if you're getting this ship and getting this set of minifigs like that, it's not going to be a cheap set. But if you're a Goonies fan, it's going to be definitely worth it to get this in a Lego format.
It's like, what do they got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 figures. So, I mean, I assume it's going to be like 200 plus, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, and all in all, like I said, it's if Lego can commit to obviously these ideas, they commit to them and they come out looking good. I mean, it's good for the fans who voted for them. Clearly, there is a appeal and a market for it, for going past that threshold of votes, and Lego sees it being able to be built in their spectrum, because sometimes it's a lot harder. Yeah, and one of those idea sets can get, you know, all the support behind it. But, you know, if Lego can't do it or can't get a hold of licenses, or they know it's going to be a nightmare, they're not going to do it. There's no point.
Well, I like how they're going. We talked about this last time where, like, Jaws was coming out. Jaws has been announced. It's out on the shelves now. And they're kind of still going with this vintage movie, this old movie style, like the late 70s, early 80s style movies. So I'm like, maybe we'll get, this is like opening up, so there's going to be a bunch of more classic movies getting sets and all that. I doubt we'll get a RoboCop one.
No, I think the real reason why this is happening is because Lego might have a bunch of old heads still working there. Like the same way they love the original trilogy, they love all these old movies, and they just can't get with the times. But these are classics. These aren't just some obscure movies either. Like these are good movies. A lot of our generation have seen these movies growing up because our parents watch this stuff. So obviously we're looking at this like, oh, I recognize that, and I know you love movies. You go back and watch older movies. I can see the appeal for this, and I mean, who knows if it's good enough, and maybe I'll watch the movie again and get a spark of hope, and I'm like, if this is real, I might have to pick it up.
I feel like the Gremlin one is definitely going to be like the lower tier. I doubt the Gremlin will be over $100.
Yeah.
If it's over $70, I'm gonna be like stingy about it. But the Goonies set is definitely going to be well over $100, and I can't wait to see what they come up with. I have high hopes for it. Lego likes their old stuff, so fingers crossed on that one.
I know as well as they've been talking about a bunch of new Marvel sets are going to start coming out. I mean, there's always these leaks coming around, no pictures or anything fully announced yet. But talking about a new Iron Man Hall of Armor, maybe a Captain America set from the new movie with the Red Hulk.
When the last Hall of Armor was not even like 2 years ago.
It wasn't, because we got the small one that was like it was like you had the normal one that was like 6 little suites, and then it had then there came like another one with the hot rod in it, but it was like half the size.
Yeah.
And then now they're releasing
and
another
then
one.
it's like they had a design. They had a pretty good design. You have 2 of them.
Yes.
And like they're great because they're uniform and you can put all your Iron Mans there. And then we released a new Iron Man, which honestly compared to the old one is not good, because the old one the face came off and you could still see him. With this new one, you have to take like the helmet off, or it lifts up and
it's all the nanotech and all this stuff. It's a full thing, and I guess a big complaint of them, because I mean, it's either saving money or they're trying to keep true to the movies. I mean, because in later movies his head doesn't come up, like, or the face doesn't come up anymore. It just goes away because it's nanotech. But how do you replicate that in Lego? Take off.
I feel like it's sort of like the Stormtrooper discussion we had. Their first model was perfect, and then for some reason they decided to bastardize it and change it with nothing. Like, so they had the Stormtrooper helmet. It was a perfect shape. They had finally got the printing perfect on it, and then they went and released the dual molded one. They had the perfect Iron Man helmet. They even made the different little Iron Man helmet for the nano machine, so you would take it off and you could see his face. But for the older ones, he has the lift up thing, and I personally like the old Mark armor. I don't care about the nano machines. I think they're kind of dumb. I like his the helmet coming over his face. So
yeah, I mean, well, even the Avengers Quinjet that released this year or last year, the $100 one you can buy that I got on that crazy deal that I got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that has the old Iron Man helmet on it. It doesn't have the new helmet where it's coming up. So I think it is a design choice based off what armor he's wearing. If he's wearing a armor that is an older one that, i.e., in the first Avengers, the helmet is going to come up, and Lego just proved that they still have the molds. They can still do it. So they clearly just did it.
Yeah.
And then now, if we're getting newer suits, their helmets are going to be once a singular piece that comes on and off, just to keep continuity wise. Which I guess give them credit for that, because I guess they're at least they're keeping it consistent on their end.
Well, I'm just curious, because spoiler alert, I mean, it's been over years now. There's not going to be another Iron Man movie.
No, but we got Iron Doom coming.
We got Doctor Doom, which I'm ready to see. I'm curious about that one.
Well, listen, the franchise has been in shambles since he left. He needed to come back and save it.
That was the thing. Is he even said that he would come back and do Iron Man, which I'm like, that kind of defeats the purpose of your sacrifice. If they went through with Deadpool and he went and he snapped it and he's like, oh, I'll just regenerate, I'll be perfectly fine. That would have been funny. Then be like, oh, we can have Iron Man, but then he kind of ruined all the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
as well.
How do you not destroy a legacy without really destroying it? Because I mean, with Logan, they kind of made fun. They were being funny with it. Spoiler, if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, you're a little late to the party.
A little bit.
But with that scene of him, how can we make a movie about Wolverine and not desecrate Logan's memory? You don't. But at the same time, you really didn't mess it up either, because we know how it ended. We know it was good.
Yeah.
And now we know Deadpool is doing his own thing. But at least we got another version of Hugh Jackman out there playing Wolverine.
What do you think the odds are we're going to get a Deadpool minifigure in the next couple of years?
We need one. I mean, there's no way we can't get one.
We got an old school Wolverine. I think, honestly, they should throw, like, don't make a Deadpool set. Just make, like, a Marvel superhero set.
And
throw Deadpool in there. You don't need to, like, I mean, you don't need to, like, point fingers and say this is related to an art. No, you just can have him in there. And it's like, I think that it would work pretty well.
Or give us a Marvel CMF. And put
give us a Marvel CMF. Give us another one and put Deadpool in there. And put even... it'd be kind of funny if they did like a Deadpool CMF, so you can have
all these different versions of Deadpool would be hilarious.
That would be awesome.
I know they're releasing another rumor is that they're releasing a Avengers like logo or sign or
it's a Marvel logo, I believe.
Yeah, it's a Marvel logo or Avengers logo. What are they doing? So yeah, it's a buildable Marvel logo, and it's gonna have it includes Iron Man, Captain America on the first Avenger outfit, Thor, Scarlet Witch, and Bruce Banner. You would think it would have Black Widow, maybe.
You would think it'd have Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Maybe got some beef with them, with the actors still, I don't know.
But, Scarlett Johansson.
But we'll see. I mean, if this is cool and looks good enough, and $100, maybe a little bit of a...
It won't be big.
It won't be big, but it better not...
You're not looking at like a poster size. You're looking at maybe just over a foot in length. Yeah. You're not
even for $100. What if it's like half the iPad size, like lengthwise, you're chopping it in half, and then you're just putting them over?
Well, then it's got to be a really decent thing. So it's got to be like kind of like how they do the Marvel movies, where they have the bits of the movies in the lettering. I think if it does that, 100%, it would probably be worth it. But if it's like if it's a small thing and it only comes with the figures, $100 screams a little bit of a rip.
Yeah, for all those figures too, because it's not like you're getting a big.
It's got to be a significantly decent build for it to be worth $100.
I can see it kind of playing out like maybe a 3D effect, just like the Disney supervillain set or the Disney villain set with like Ursula and Jafar as the genie and stuff like that. Like how it was with the books, the apple and stuff like that. You can kind of do something like that where they're all swinging around it or something.
That would be, if they're interacting with it, 100%. That would actually be really cool.
That would be a nice little treat with Marvel. And Marvel getting a little bit of traction again. Been kind of a downslope, but it's getting back up there with Deadpool, Wolverine.
I'm trying to.
And having that good stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff, a lot of news only comes by every so often. I know there's a new Destiny's Bounty in the talks. I love Ninjago. I'm gonna get the Destiny Bounty. I don't care what it looks like.
I always like the Destiny Bounty. I like ships though, so that's sort of my go-to. But I want to see like this one. The last one flew, right?
They all fly for the most.
They all fly.
They all
fly. The last one like legitimately looks like it flies because it has like the turbine or the thrusters there, and the wings kind of go up instead of like act like sails.
Well, this is the one. This is the set that I have in my room right now.
Yeah.
The Legacy one. Those turbines come out when you put the tails down, and then the front opens up like an engine, and then you put the wings up to fly mode.
I'm curious what it looks like because each one has looked significantly
different.
They
all look different. It's hilarious. I mean, it's supposed to be an old pirate ship that they restored and made it to a giant or into the flying machine. It is called the Destiny's Bounties because like there were pirates back, and then Ninjago's lore is so weird because it ties in like original Lego IP. I mean, Chima's in it, and the universe hops.
So that what's it called? Because then that goes all the way back to the pirates, so like Redbeard and all that.
Even that one, dude, I can't think of his name, but one of the adventure guys with the eye patch, he's in there. There's
Clutch Powers. There's Johnny Thunder.
I think it's Clutch Powers. He's in Ninjago.
I know they had a movie. That was like the biggest deal. He had like the first Lego movie or whatever, and it was just a big commercial just to like get you to buy Lego Atlantis sets.
Which, they even tried to do a little bit of Atlantis, which I appreciate Ninjago. Every season has been like a take on an older theme. Like they have like Lego Knights when the Ninjagos were Masters of the Mountains. They had like Lego kind of Atlantis, a bunch of sea creatures, and all the ninja wore scuba gear, and it was like with their geese.
That's kind of cool how they're going back and through. The one thing that's coming out here that's kind of caught my eye is the Pharrell Williams Lego set. So if you're in the dark, Pharrell Williams is making a movie. It's an autobiography of himself, and he decided that he was going to make it in Lego. So it's not going to be at the quality as like Lego Ninjago or the Lego Movie where they made it look like it was like real stop motion. It's sort of like slightly better than the Lego Star Wars specials they've been doing. Mm-hmm. But it's Pharrell Williams, and I'm gonna give it like he wanted to do it because it's that's what he does. He does crazy things like that. the one thing is the set is like $150. And it comes with a rocket, which it looks kind of cool, but it comes with a frame full of heads, and each head is supposed to be an actual like artist that inspired his life. Like, I don't know, like apparently like Kendrick Lamar and a few other people are supposed to be in there. Hopefully nobody that's been in recent news for talking to people they shouldn't are in there. But I need to really kind of see this one. I think honestly, if you buy it, it's $100. Okay, so it's $110. The heads alone might be the crown jewel of the set, because then you just have a bunch of like flesh-colored heads.
Yeah, the spaceship is very basic. I mean, it looks like they're using parts of the Blacktron promo set that we just got.
It does.
But it's. I mean, let it be what it is. It's a movie about him. I don't know if anybody really asked for it. I don't know what he did.
He makes the only song I know he does. I don't listen to his type of music, but is Happy.
Yeah.
The Happy song. That's it. That's all I know he's done. Other than that, but you know what? If he's inspired, he's went and done something that's a bit unique, and it's Lego. It gets a set out of it. There's a Lego movie on the horizon, and all right, cool. Well, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, keep it relevant. I mean, I guess he's relevant enough to get a movie from Lego, but again, a company who will innovate when they feel like it will make a movie about somebody who isn't really popping on that much. I mean, if you made a Taylor Swift movie in Lego, it would go crazy. People would go ballistic.
Nobody would be able to ever buy that set.
No, it would be.
You know how crazy those Taylor Swift fans are.
But it'd be all right.
It's a cult. I'm 100% believe it. They treat it like a cult.
You're either in, or
you're either a Swiftie or you're not in. Like,
apparently, if you're that's how it is.
Bro, you seen what's it called? I forgot the player she's dating, but it's like that
Travis Kelce.
That entire stadium they up their prices. They raise the prices 3 times because Taylor Swift goes to the stadium to watch him, and all they're doing is everybody's just looking back at her box just to look at Taylor Swift, and I'm like, there are people here that have grown up watching these games. They can't afford to go to these games now because people are just want to go and look at Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and as a big football fan, I mean, I'd hate that, but Kansas City would know how to make their money off of it. I mean,
no, they're making a bank, dude. Like, they figured it out. I'm just like,
the silver platter was handed to them. They knew what to do as soon as the assignment was made.
And I have no hate towards Taylor Swift. I'm not appreciative of her fan base just going apeshit over nothing.
Somebody stole your friendship bracelet at the movie, didn't they?
I feel like, bro, man, I was the only one with a 501 battle pack. No, it's sort of like back in the day when everybody was a believer or whatever.
Oh my god, well, yeah.
But it feels like, believers were only around for about 2 or 3 years. These people have been around for a little longer and it's starting to get a little concerning.
Yeah, I guess because we're not fans of the music. For me, it was it's random because I never thought it had like that. I knew she was popular, I knew she had a big fan base, but man, I didn't know it was like that. Like, I didn't know it was run over children to get the limited popcorn buckets for her movie or whatever she was giving out.
When you get to the point where people are physically getting hurt or even possibly dying just for something you're actually meant to throw away. That's like the girls that went crazy when McDonald's did the BTS meal.
Oh yeah, I did.
I remember reading an article that these girls would go into each trash can and pull out each BTS bag they could find. And I'm like, all right, you shouldn't be that crazy on that. But power to her and all that. But if they made a set for her, 100%, we would never see it on shelves. It would just be it would probably be the most stolen or most bought out set. Lego would put a 1 limit on that.
And so, realistically, let's get into some topics around here.
Okay, so we're moving on to topics, a new segment. A topic we've discussed, and we've discussed this quite a bit. Me and you used to be Lego purists.
Yeah, and it was when we actually started getting back into Lego a lot more. I remember I told you, hey, I bought this custom figure because they didn't have these Spider-Mans that I'm looking for.
And I was a bit I was a little spiteful. I'm like, you've sinned. You were wrong to do that. But it's like, I realized, and I used to be a huge Lego purist. Like, oh, Lego will make it eventually. Why would I make a mock? Lego will make it eventually. Well, apparently they're taking their sweet ass time, so we have to do it ourselves.
And this isn't like we're talking custom figs. We're not talking, 10-year-old us custom figs where we're painting on our stormtroopers, painting on our clone troopers, and just doing custom little give them a hat. This is this is Indiana Jones now when it's not. It's like, no, the game has evolved, and I know some of it goes into IP infringement and all this other stuff like that. But with these custom whether they be UV printed, whether they just be 3D printed, or at the end of the day, even just cheap Chinese plastic, some of these figures out here that they come out with are like, if not on par with Lego, if not design-wise, have surpassed Lego.
Dude, it's amazing. Like, I remember watching videos when I was a kid of like, this is how you make a custom Wolverine figure, and the guy's like, you got to get model paint, and you paint him in this direction and all that. And I remember I'm sitting there with like a torso I don't care about with a highlighter, being like, this is gonna look cool, and it looks like crap. And I'm just like, no, we're not doing this again. But the game has changed, man. These figures, they either look perfectly like up to like the Legoized style of these things, or they look so like detailed and realistic.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, this is a whole new game changer.
And like, I can see where, and being more of a Lego purist when it comes to a lot of the figs, like, I'm not gonna go buy fake Ninjago figs unless it's like some rare serpentine figure or something random where it's impossible to get now, right? Most of the Ninjago stuff you can afford to kind of get, even if they're a little bit more expensive, you can still kind of get them. Unless you want something just truly custom. Like, I saw on Etsy, you could buy like a 20-piece set, and it was all Ninjago villains, and it had a bunch of snakes, but all in different colors. I'm like, that's pretty cool that they never had those colors. Would I buy them? Maybe, because why not? But at the same time, it's like, if it doesn't fit my snake army, I'm not going to do it.
I mean, especially like when they make pieces in colors that they're never going to do. So like, I've been getting really back into Gen 1 Bionicle, and I found mask makers, and they make masks in like different transparent colors. There's only been like one mask that's really been in a transparency, but now they make them in different ones, and you can get all these different colors. And I'm like, why doesn't Lego do that? And they're doing the exact same thing. They're using molds. They're making it with the exact same plastic. They're on par with the quality. And it's like, if you go on like Bricklink and all that, you'll find these figures. Some people are atrociously selling these figures. I have a fake Revan figure that looks like the one that you got with gift of purchase. I'm not paying up $200+ for the one that's still in the bag.
Yeah, and then sometimes you never know if these figures are actually going to come out. Like, I bought a white Vader, a light side Vader off of whatever online just to have it, right? And it stands out in my little Vader collection because he's just all white. It's in the newer style with the 2-part helmet. He's a little bit taller, or just it feels a little bit bigger than the old school single mold helmets. And I'm like, cool. And all of a sudden, Dark Falcon gets released, and here's a light side Vader, and I'm like, well, cool. Now I can actually get an official light side Vader. But what is to really stop me from getting something that I truly like, that I truly want, before Lego even gives the idea to do that? I mean, like this. I went to freaking one of the Brickco stores out here in Orlando, and I'll go out there and I'm like, man, they have a whole cabinet full of custom UV printed figures, and they're good quality, so they must be on Lego. I think they're on Lego prints. If I'm not, or Lego pieces. And they had the PS4 Spider-Man suit. I love that game. Is Lego going to make a PS4 Spider-Man? Who knows? Like, that's especially with the games being kind of like getting a little bit not too old, but it's so far in the past. It's like, why revisit it if we're getting new Spider-Man stuff anyways consistently, but we're not getting like variants of Spider-Man, if that makes sense. We're not getting like anything. Like, we haven't got a Superior Spider-Man. We haven't got Spider-Man PS4. We haven't got Octopus. I'm just buying stuff that I would want.
Did they ever make like a different variant? Did they ever do like the Tom Holland? Like when Tom Holland...
They did all three of them in the No Way Home set. Like
they did all three of them, but did they do like the Iron Spider one? Did they ever do a set on that or a figure on that?
Maybe, but I only remember seeing I know for a fact you get the black, the advanced suit, the normal suit that he wore.
Yeah.
And then you get the one with kind of the Iron Spider he has a gold spider instead. But
Okay.
still wearing the black on the outside, with the other two Spider-Men helping him out in that set. And which, I mean, they gave us a Green Goblin. Like, again, I bought that Norman Osborn like figure and like a classic, like, because I know there's a classic Norman Osborn from the old Spider-Man set. I'm not paying that price for that figure.
It's when it gets to a point, it's ridiculous how much if you are a diehard Lego purist and you are perfectly okay with spending $100, $200, maybe even $1,000 on a minifigure, you go right ahead. You want your Cloud City Boba Fett? Go for it. I, for one, am not in that position to make that kind of decision, and I don't even think if I had that money, I would waste it on that. I think, honestly, getting custom figures is, Lego's not going to always make the figures you want, especially if it's in a theme that Lego will not, without a doubt, touch.
Halo.
Lego, for some reason, if Lego makes a Halo Ideas build, I just want it to be Master Chief on a warthog running over a ghost. That's it. It doesn't have to be anything else. That will satisfy me. But you go and you can find, you can go on websites like Brick Forge and Brick Tactical, and they have Halo armor that you can put on figures. And it looks great, and it fills that gap. Because a lot of people will rebuild stuff. You can Google Lego Halo, and people have created these amazing structures. And it's it seems sort of wrong that there's no way to recreate them in Lego, but people make it.
Yeah, considering that Mega Constructs or Mega whatever they are now, Mega Blocks, whatever, they've had the Halo IP for so long, and it's probably now they have the Pokemon IP as well. So it's why this making them their money? Why would they get rid of it? And I do buy the Mega Constructs Halo stuff, and I like it. They make so many custom pieces for it, but as far as the figures, I don't think I like both. I mean, you talk about those pieces that we can get off Break Forge and stuff like that. I do enjoy having those pieces and making little custom Spartans and stuff like that. But I also do enjoy having an articulate Spartan, being able to hold a weapon or do dynamic poses with dynamic Covenant as well.
I do like the small articulate. I'm surprised, because you look at Lego and you're that's as good as it gets at that scale, and then you look at Mega and they have these little dudes and they're little tiny action figures. But they're so articulate. Their hands move, their elbows move, their knees, their feet, and and then you can choose which armor you want.
Interchange them. And it's obviously because it's a brick kind of thing. It's another playable customization set, and I can see where you're on pure Lego. I'm always going to be Lego.
Yeah.
Nothing but Lego. I get it. That's you. I'm a big fan of what I like. I'm going to go after what I like. If they don't have I'm recently finishing The Boys. And I'm dude, I want a Lego Homelander. It'll be hilarious.
Oh my god, I would love a Lego Homelander.
And I see a bunch of fake ones, and it's I guarantee you there's somebody out there going that's a disgrace. Why would anybody copy the idea? I'm whatever.
But you realize Lego will never make that.
They'll never make them. They'll never do
They'll never do that. I want one of my favorite DC movies is Watchmen.
Oh yeah.
And so I would love to get especially just Rorschach, but also Night Owl as a figure. But Lego's never going to make that. That's an R-rated movie. It's a very dark theme and all that.
Oh, why do you need a Night Owl when you can just use Batman and cut off the horns and make your own custom Night Owl?
Then I'm ruining a Batman figure.
Exactly.
I'm why would I ruin figures if somebody is already... Some of these companies, they go and they buy the torsos, the blank torsos from Lego, and they print it on there. So you're still getting the Lego quality, and you're getting a separate print, which there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's other companies that purchase these torsos from companies that reprint these items. And yeah, these things are they're not going to be at that quality. I know one of the ones I had, you have to put the arms on the torso, then you have to put the hands in. You have to attach the legs. And I'm at that point, yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, but these are not going to be... These are just for display. They're going to go in a thing.
And that's where I see some of them you can go very basic and they look good. They fit that Lego niche of where they're not plain, but they're Lego enough to be to just be in your collection.
Yeah.
And then there's the Clone Trooper ones. There's always custom clones out there. Since kids were donned with the Clone Wars, we've always wanted every single clone possible.
We've been painting our clones and ruining them for decades. So of course, as soon as we see that somebody has a custom one of the one we're trying to make, we're gonna buy it.
Grab them, and then you can see the simplistic ones of that match are, and the clones have gotten better over the years. Helmet holes, be quiet about that. Hey, we're over that. We can't change that. But like the quality of the clones, the different ones we're getting, it's cool. But then there's like also a point where like, man, some of these custom ones that come out are like hyper detailed and they don't fit that niche, but at the same time they're cool to have. Like I have the Commander Cody that we got in the ATTE is a nice Commander Cody. The one that I got that was custom, he's super detailed. I mean, like it's like they took the entire armor and put it onto a Lego figure, and has the jetpack on the little jetpack on the back that you never
is it like a physical piece too?
Yeah, and it's either a physical piece, but the helmet is just the helmet mold is like a little bit different because to fit the visor his visor correctly, and it's like wow. This is really cool, but side by side, it's like this doesn't fit my display that I have at the moment. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what do? Do you take away all your normal clones and replace them with customs? Because there's some custom ones that I have, and you've seen Scrunch.
I love Scrunch.
And Scrunch has to be hidden from the world.
some of these customs, they come when you get them. They're just so funny. You can't be mad at them because I paid
$1 for him. I got $1.
Yeah, you get $1. You pay $1 for a figure. What are you gonna get? His mouth is so close to his eyes. But
he's trying his best.
I will say this: the hardest thing I've seen recently is that a lot of these people can't get the helmets right. No matter what. Like, if you get a custom Mandalorian figure, the helmet's not going to look as good as, Lego has their detailed ones. There is companies such as Grandpa Cloned Customs that make custom helmets in the same style as Lego, before they did the helmet holes. And they'll even do the helmet holes in the newer ones. They have a really good Commander Bly figure I've been trying to get, but it always seems to be sold out. And they are on par. They are printed on. The only part that's not real Lego is the helmet, and but it's the same plastic. It's basically the same mold.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but it's like if you're gonna buy the figs, you're gonna buy the figs. You're gonna buy the figs you want. You're not sitting there and saying this is you're not passing it on as Lego. And it's like I have all my pieces sorted. And I'm not mixing them with other companies and all that because it's that's where I'm purist. But if I have figures, I have a bunch of car ones you can buy from third-party websites and all that. A lot of them are not Lego. A lot of them are these imitation bricks and all that. And I love them. I think they're fun. They're great.
Yeah, and I think there's a big difference between getting custom figures and doing all that versus getting rip-off sets like Lepin was doing.
Lepin was straight up stealing.
Stealing the complete set and then reselling it with knockoff bricks that aren't as strong, that aren't as good. And sometimes the imitation brick good, it almost the same quality and can hold the same. Sure, but the fact that you're stealing an actual set and then reselling it as your own, calling it War Star instead of Star Wars, I get it. I mean, and then it's weird because then some of these sets, man, they're almost unobtainable to the common fan, like the Latin ATOP. We're not gonna get that combo again. We're not. And the fact that some people have to go to that length to get one is kind of on Lego. Man, maybe you should do something about this besides shutting them down.
If Lego looked at the lengths people are going to get these sets, because getting the dropship and ATOT in the box is $2,000+, maybe even $5,000 at this point. I haven't even checked in a while. I mean, even getting one out of the box, you're still gonna pay 4 figures for it, and that's just without minifigures and all that. And it's I feel like Lego could really do something. I think if the next gunship they should make should be able to carry the ATTE and an ATOT. They should make these things more interchangeable because Lego seems to diverse from that way of they used to make sets that you could buy this set and it would connect to this set, and you can make a bigger set they did with Jabba's Palace. You could have Jabba's Palace and you put on top of the Rancor. What's the orange Avenger Guardian ship?
Oh, it's not the Milano.
It's not the Milano. It's the orange ones. When they had Endgame come out, they had 2 sets. You had the orange ship and then you had the escape pod, and you connect them together and you have a bigger ship. Lego doesn't seem to do that anymore. They did that recently with the No Way Home set with the Statue of Liberty's head, and then you can get I think a couple months later they came out with Sandman, and you put him in there. But Lego should make things interchangeable with a lot of these things.
Yeah, and I don't know if half of it is up to your imagination. Like, if you want to put it together, you combine your sets, because, I mean, at the end of the day, Lego is a creative toy brand. I mean, like, with how you play with them or whatever you want to do with it. But mind you, as a collector, I'm not sitting there playing with my Lego sets. I'm too busy for that. I like to have them displayed. I like to see them and have them a certain particular way. So when it comes to getting those modular sets, it's cool. I understand it. I think their thing is how can we save the most money, not make modular sets, and get the most bang for our buck, or making us pay the most bang for the buck to get one set or two sets to make it work. But
I mean, I realize Lego's their company. Their biggest thing is to make money and all that. But I've definitely seen a drop in fan appreciation, and more people are flocking towards these alternative companies. And some of these companies are straight up stealing like ideas from mock builders. That's the worst part. I know, like, there's a bunch of like the car websites on Instagram you see, and they're like, we're giving away a free car. You can go and you can find every single one of those on Rebrickable. I won one, and then somebody messaged me saying, hey, you do realize you just won a stolen set? And I'm like, what do you mean? They sent me a link to it, and I went and I bought the guy's instructions so I can support them, because I felt like really bad. But it's kind of hard, but there's a lot
of... Who's to say who took it first and all this other stuff like that? I mean, at the end of the day, did he get licensed from Honda to make that car?
No, he didn't get... But I mean, it's...
But at the same time, I see what you're saying. So it's like, who's stealing from who? And at the end of the day, end all be all, Lego should just meet all fan demands. But they're not going to. Because it's impossible.
I mean, I've always... Honestly, Lego should have a better feedback system.
I thought they did have one. I guess they used to, and it just went away. Like they had like a community manager or something like that, and it just like went away. Or it's not getting traction anymore.
Sets have gotten a lot smaller. They've gotten a little bit more expensive. The Jabba sail barge, apparently it was rumored to be $500. Now it's $550, which originally I think it was rumored to be only about $350. And you have to realize this is supposed to be just a large brown thing.
Yeah.
And it's... So, I'm trying...
because you're not paying for the Sarlacc pit, that's a different set.
Yeah, and then you gotta buy the Sarlacc pit, and that goes separately with it. Apparently, the only good thing about that set is they have a brand new mold for Jabba and Salacious Crumb, which is that little monkey thing that hangs around.
I think when it comes to stuff like that, I would buy a custom Jabba now if I couldn't find one for a good price anymore.
It's crazy how much they've gotten in price.
I buy a custom one now. I mean, the last custom figs I bought were some Halo ones, and this little Marine dude I found at a convention we went to.
Yeah,
I bought some of those just because it's we're probably never gonna get Halo figs from actual Lego. So I was like, cool. I bought Master Chief and Jerome, and then I bought a little a Marine in his dress blues, and I'm like, why wouldn't I buy that? I
mean, they look nice. I bought the same ones. They do look nice, and it's a different. I like it because they're a different thing than the Brick Forge ones.
Love. And it's like, why not buy something that you love? And
that's the thing. At the end of the day, you do what you love. You don't have to be brand loyal the whole time. You want to give all your money to Lego, go ahead, but Lego's not going to make everything you want. They have to go through their whole process. They have to go through their licensing, and a lot of it might not just be solely directed to Lego and all that, but a lot of it is, and a lot of it isn't. So just buy what you want to buy. It's your money. You do what you want with it. It's your hobby.
I understand these Lego cons that are going around now. They're getting more traction. Brick. Not the Fan Fest or whatever. The one they went to that was really terrible.
I think it's Brick Fan Fest. No, because Brick Fan Expo was a really good one.
Yeah, the ones we've been to recently have been good. We went to one in Tampa. It was ridiculously bad.
That was our first one, which was really bad.
It left a bad taste in our mouths.
It had the builds there were pretty cool. They had
those builds are great.
The mock guy was there. I talked to some guy, and he's he took the Technic Land Rover and he turned it into a half track, which was really cool. But it's they had one store, and it was the convention store. And then they're like, oh, you get... And we went and bought VIP passes for that. And we thought we were going to get one of those little iconic bricks. And they're like, no, you get a custom set. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I remember I made the joke. I'm like, what if I didn't follow the instructions? And the lady yelled at me.
Yeah.
She got so mad. I'm like, I'm okay. Like, listen, there's nobody in this convention. There's 40 people, and you have enough Lego here to feed a small village. Like, don't yell at me.
But the other ones I went to were really good. They gave you the little break custom printed badges and stuff like that, and those are really good. But my point with these conventions is that you're usually not seeing actual custom figs. Maybe some the last one I went to, there were some for the first time I've seen them. There was like an Assassin's Creed one, and or like I mentioned that movie Tombstone, and the guy didn't understand what I was talking about. I'm like, how are you selling something? How are you selling something? You don't know what it is.
That's always so funny.
And I'm like, you custom printed these, and you don't know what they are. I'm like, you never seen Tombstone? I'm like, and dude's older than me, and I was like, whatever, man. But I know they had some cool stuff there, but a lot of custom like weapons or like the movie posters that we were talking about.
We did find some pretty.
So those
cool
are pretty cool.
Like you probably see them in our pictures right now. It's the Jaws and the Evil Dead one. They're awesome. Like it's stuff like that it's those little bricks and all that come about, and you get to find this stuff because it adds a little bit more life to this. Because like we need more. I hate to say it. Advertising, like bricks that advertise stuff, are really great for a cityscape.
Oh yeah.
And because in real life, you go like to New York, you go even to Orlando. There's advertisements everywhere. If you just make a city without advertisement, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look real. You got to put advertisement in there. And it's like like you said, like the guy didn't know what Tombstone was, but it's like some of these figures are awesome.
Yeah.
They are great.
Especially if you're into mocks and stuff like that, you're not gonna find a bunch of these things from official Lego stuff. Like if you're looking for like Civil War, if you're looking for American Revolution, or even World War I, II, anything, right? Lego's not making a lot of these guys, and you're not getting a bunch of old like little old soldiers from like the old Lego, like the old Lego sets with like the ships and stuff like that. You're not getting these sets. Like you're not getting these figures at a cheap price. You can get them somewhere else cheaper, or you can get good quality ones for a good price. I mean, and it goes into that whole realm of like, what would you prefer? I prefer to enjoy what I'm spending my money on and getting more out of it versus waiting and not getting. Cause it's kind of crazy to wait this long and maybe
we're never going to get World War II figures, which is upsetting because if you notice how many Lego World War II videos there are, it's a little concerning.
It's a little crazy.
I'm like, why is there so many Lego World War II videos? Like, I remember one of the first Lego videos I watched on YouTube when I was like 8 was like a Blender animation. It's like Lego D-Day, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, what am I watching? It's like Saving Private Ryan, but
which is crazy how a lot of it's either stop motion or it's straight animated like off a Blender or something like that. I don't understand why people do this so much, but I still watch it.
I watch it. It's cool. There's one guy, I forget his name, but he makes some really like in-depth ones, and I love watching them. They're gruesome and they're like raw, and it's just like. This is just a guy, and he's just playing with Lego in the form of World War II. And I'm like, why is it always World War II? Like, you never see, like, Vietnam era. You never see, like, Knights era. You just always see World War II. It's tanks and artillery. That's all you want to see in these.
And I like this one, like, too, like, these custom figs, man. I would really love to get into Lego Castle with how much they're not doing for Lego Castle.
Yeah.
They did, like, a little revamp, like, 2 sets, and that was it. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to do like a medieval setting, right? Like I'm into like some high fantasy stuff now. I've been eyeballing that Dungeons and Dragons set, and I'm like, man, you know how cool to have like a Knights Templar or something like that going around.
That would be cool.
And then you know what I found online? I found like a set of like 15 knights, like fully armored knights and horses. Yes, all an official brick, but that's great. I just found 15 knights, and like I'm not gonna get like, and they looked way more detailed than what we would get from Lego. Like I liked how they were bulky, had shields, had capes on. I'm like, that's so much better than what we would get.
I mean, at the point is like if you can't really judge somebody's collection if you're not the one, you're not the one spending it. I mean, if they got some saucy figures in there, which we've seen, then
there's some crazy ones out there.
Like there's some really funny and crazy ones out there, but like you're not going around passing it off. You're like, this is a custom figure. This is a custom figure. I haven't really met anybody that's been saying like these are legit.
Yeah,
figures.
no, I think the separation of knowing what is legitimate and what is fake is good, because even on Marketplace, a lot of people have like those Lepin sets, and they go, "This is not official Lego, by the way," because they know that's the question going to be asked.
That's it. The first thing you're going to look at as soon as you take hold of the set, they're going to look and be like, "There's no Lego prints on there."
Like when I was going to buy some dinosaurs from somebody selling them, I was like, "Hey, are these official Lego?" The guy said the T-Rex is, but then Dominus is not official Lego. And I was like, at that point, I was very Lego purist, and I was like, "Oh, never mind then," because I only want a real Lego Indominus Rex. And then I look at the price of Indominus Rex, and I'm like, "Cool. Oh, where's that guy with the fake one? Here, we sold it."
Yeah, let me go back in time and get it real quick. I mean, you told me that you were trying to get the movie Lego Ninjago's movie Destiny Bounty. Would you still buy it if you could get it like as a fake, or
if I could get a fake one under like $100? Because if it's 150, 170, 200, I might as well go buy one off the market now.
Yeah.
At that point, I would buy the figs to be legit, because fake Ninjago figs, I bought some on accident. I bought like a lot, and they're really bad. Like, they are not good. So I would not do that. But at the same time, that Destiny's Bounty from the movie, if it's just as good as the movie one, I would buy it for cheap. It has to be cheaper price, because if it's almost the same price as one used, I'm buying the used one, because at least it's official.
That would be ridiculous if it was like
But the figs would have to get all official figs, because
I think you can almost get away with it, but it's like that movie Destiny's Bounty always looks cool.
It looks so cool just for it to be destroyed in like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, but
it always gets destroyed.
Which I think it's hilarious how they made a lot of really big sets for that movie.
And all of them got destroyed in the
first. You see them for 5 seconds, and then they're like destroyed.
Like one of my favorite sets from that movie is Lloyd's like mech dragon.
Yeah,
that dragon's so cool. Like, I don't understand why that dragon is so cool as a robot. And then the Garmadon's like shark like mech that he has that shoots out sharks. It's hilarious.
So I mean it's your money. Do whatever you want with it. Honestly, there's gonna be people that are gonna be like snarky and fedora wearing. And be like, "Oh, that's not Lego. That's not genuine Lego. I've checked all your head studs, and they're not Legos." Like, first of all, why are you touching my shit? And second of all, no one asked for your opinion. Some of these you build, some of these you bought because it needs just to fill up the gap.
Yeah, what's the difference between mocks and buying a fake Lego figure? Like, if you're building a mock, you're not building the set, man. There's not a set for that. What are you doing?
No, it's like,
where are the instructions, bro? You can't do that.
So I've seen a lot of people, and like, I'm curious how these people live, and they buy the set, they'll build it once and tear it apart and use it for other stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know how I could live like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not creative anymore, but I don't like a lot of loose pieces. Like, I just can't do it anymore. I don't have a creative mind to build a mock or to do something. So when I buy a set, I want to build the set.
Yeah.
And what would make it better? Maybe some custom figs. Like, we talk about mocks and a little custom stuff. I was browsing Rebrickable, and I was like, man, I know there's a Dungeons & Dragons big set, and I'm like, and the CMF coming up, and I'm like, what about some smaller stuff? I know we've been playing a little bit of Star Wars 5e D&D, and then I started playing Baldur's Gate again, and I'm like, man, I want some more D&D stuff, and I saw these cool mocks, and like what I really wanted to do and show up at one of our sessions is build a custom dice tower that I saw online. And I think it's really neat, to get the pieces and make a custom dice tower. That'd be funny, made out of Lego. I love both those things. So that's just what I was browsing about. Did you find anything recently like that?
So one thing I was really looking at was we were talking about last episode the mini scale capital ships that they have out, and I think I mentioned how the Millennium Falcon just didn't seem to fit there. Like, it's a cool iconic ship to have on a stand. But this guy here on Rebrickable by the username Creation Caravan, parenthesis Brad Barber, I just want to make sure. He's taken it, and I like these mocks where they take the stuff apart and all that. But I find this is funny because he turned the Millennium Falcon into the once galactic cruiser. That was the hotel, the Star Wars hotel. That didn't last quite as long as I think Disney would like. I think that's a great set. I like that.
I mean, it gives you a different option. Like you say, that there's a lot of play scale Falcons and the UCS Falcon. So it's like, why have a midi scale Falcon? It doesn't fit the theme. The theme is capital ships, realistically. it's capital ships or just bigger ships than a freighter. So putting it in that scale kind of fits with the Tantive 4 design, because it kind of is one of those ship classes like that, like a light cruiser or something like that. So that fits better in a display versus the Millennium Falcon, in my opinion.
That does, without doubt, because that's not a freighter, that's a cruiser. But the Tantive is considered it's a frigate. It's not a freighter, but it's still. In that scale, I would say the capital ship should be the biggest thing. And this ship is, apparently it's supposed to be, in lore, it's supposed to be huge. But I find this really funny because this was a hotel I actually really wanted to go to. Because I just thought it was cool. Star Wars hotel. All the windows are, screens, so it makes you seem like you're in space. And they do some fun stuff. Why not? But yeah, that's my mock shout out for this show. But, you seen any good deals lately?
I haven't seen any good deals on my end. It's been kind of dry or too far for me to go on Marketplace, or nothing really in stores. What about you?
So let me tell you about this. Last episode I talked about how I wanted another AT-AT, UCS AT-AT. What did I find the night prior to posting the last episode? A Facebook ad saying somebody was selling one for $150. Not fully built. It doesn't have the back shell. So I reached out, and they got back to me in the morning, and I bought another UCS AT-AT for $150.
And ironically, I saw that set online too. I told myself I wouldn't buy that big UCS set full price, but I saw $150. I'm like, that's a good deal. But then I was like, where are the panels at? I thought he was just displaying without panels.
Yeah.
No, the description was there's no panel. So I just blew it off as another post. I'm like, incomplete set. I don't want it. I don't do the work for it. But then next thing I know in the morning, I get a message from you screaming at me, talking about, look what I just got.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god.
I just bought it.
No way he bought that. And I'm like, but it looks good. And
it's whoever built it last. I don't know who built it last. I don't think it was the guy that actually sold it. But it's a bit misbuilt, so I have to kind of tear it down a bit and fix it. But the head is almost there. It's just missing one of its side guns. It doesn't have the spine, or it doesn't have the side panels. But I'm debating, should I rebuild it and make it an AT-AT, or should I go and mock it up and make it look like an AT-CT, like the ones you see in Scarif and Rogue One?
Dude, I was actually thinking of that. I'm like, if it's missing the side panels, go ahead and put some brown side panels or orange side panels on it.
That's what I'm thinking. I got to take the turrets off the bottom of the mouth, but I'm like, after that, it would be... I think that would be a better fit, because it doesn't come with any figures. I already have a UCS AT-AT, and now I'll have an AT-CT at scale.
And to tie it in, you can go ahead and put you get some fake shore troopers to put in your mock when you do a Scarif.
I could, 100%. I'll get a fake U-wing to put around it.
Heck yeah.
Well, that's gonna be this week's episode.
A little shorter than normal.
A little bit shorter, but
we'll try to keep it on this time frame.
We actually did a pretty decent job. So if you guys like it, please leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us what things we can improve. You can follow us on Instagram at AFFOLs only. AFFOLs only. You can follow us on our personals. Go ahead and shoot us a DM. I'm open to talk to anybody. Throw it on the AFFOLs only channel, and we will see you guys next time. See you later.
Alligator?
After a while.
Crocodile?
Hell yeah.